Okay, this is my first YouTube video. I'm just going to go through something really quick. This is for a 1987 Ford Bronco II four-wheel drive, and I've got the spindle and all this stuff that you're going to be taking apart to repack the bearings or install new bearings. I'm not going to go through the whole job, but what's important is that just you're able to get these all back together in order. As it is now, the wheel, the rotor would be in between these two, just for clarity. But so I'm going to take them apart, and then I'll probably use this so I don't forget how to put it back together once I go ahead and pack these bearings full of grease. So here goes. We'll just go step by step what these are, so it'll be like a reverse order or whatever. When you go to put it back together, this would be the last thing on it. And this is the spindle, I'm cheating here, spindle snap ring. This is a snap ring. You need a pair of snap ring pliers to put this, to get it off or put it back on. So that's that. This is the I'll make sure I got this all right here. Okay, yeah, so I paused there just to check the Haynes manual. This is the axle shaft spacer. That's going to go there. This is the needle thrust bearing. So it's got those rollers there. Tells you that that's a bearing. This is the bearing spacer. So it's got some teeth that are going to align onto the spindle. This stuff is all going to be, put together on the spindle. This is just to make it easy so you don't forget what order it is, so you don't have to take the other tire off and disassemble it to figure out how it goes back on if you do forget. Mine has been sitting for 6 months, so that I forgot. But I've got it figured out at this point, hopefully. This would be the outer lock nut. This is what the 4-prong spanner is going to go onto. You turn that and you have to torque it down. So you're going to need the torque wrench. You're going to need high temperature grease. You're going to need the 4-prong spindle nut spanner for this, and the snap ring pliers. Those are the kind of the few things that are a little out of the ordinary you will need for this. So there's that. I'm going to drop this back so I can just line these up, hopefully. Okay, so this is the, they call this just a washer, but this is a little more than a washer. It's got this little notch here that is going to go into those lock nuts, and it has these holes. So this next lock nut I pull off has got a little notch or a little like a projection that goes through these holes, and that locks them in place. So that's kind of, don't get them confused and put them in the wrong order, because this needs to go here, this needs to go below that, this needs to go, this is the inner lock nut. So that inner lock nut, see, it's got this little deal right here by my thumb. That's a, I don't know, it's a little steel thing. It locks in there. So that's how that's going to be. That's why those have to be in the correct order. So, boom, boom, boom. run out of room here in view, but so okay, now this, we're down to the bearings at this point. It's not very complicated after this. You've got bearing, this is the outer bearing, it's identical to the inner bearing. You can read whatever that, I think this is a Timken bearing. It's just kind of hard to read through my viewfinder. So there's that. We're going to run out of view here. Now, in between that bearing and this bearing is where the rotor is going to be. This is going to be your inner bearing on the inside of the rotor. This is, what does Haynes call it? A grease seal. Now Haynes has got a couple other things that it shows in there. Refers to it as the cup, and it says that, you know, that's in the rotor. I mean, they're basically the race that the runner runs, that the bearings run on, and they did not come out of my rotor, nor could I get them out. And I don't really want to get them out. They're in good shape, so I kind of wonder if they don't come with the rotors when you buy them, and maybe they're pressed in. So this is just the grease seal. So, and this right here is your spindle. This, unless you absolutely need to, do not try to take that off. It's very difficult to, and this is a replacement part because I got pretty irritated at the last one and had to beat the crap out of it and ruined all these threads, and then it was very difficult to figure out what any parts place called this thing. It's just a spindle. That's what the Haynes Auto Manual calls it, but no one apparently knows what they are when you go to buy one. So